Naoya Inoue versus TJ Doheny, 12 rounds in the 122-pound division. This is taking place in Japan Tuesday morning, September 3rd, bright and early. Let's get into it. Let's start with their respective records. Inoue, 27 wins, no losses, 24 wins by way of knockout. Doheny, 26 wins, 4 losses, and 20 wins by way of knockout. Now, personally, TJ Doheny was not the name that I was expecting to see step into the ring next with Naoya Inoue. I was expecting to see MJ Akhmadaliev, as many of you might. We were hearing that a lot more than we have against Doheny. So for me, Doheny was a big surprise to me. But at the same time, I'm not sure why I should even be surprised and why any of us should be surprised when we see certain fights happening. It is what it is. So I hit my man TJ, right? Because I just want to get his thoughts on it, what he thinks about it. And I want to get your thoughts on this fight as well, too. Just in a general standpoint, what do you think of this fight? Are you happy with it? Are you going to watch it? Or is it just what it is? You accept it for what it is and we move forward. So I hit TJ up to get his perspective on it. He says, Akeem, man, there's a little bit of backstory between TJ Doheny and Japan. He has fought 4 times in Japan, and he has a perfect record of 4-0, including beating Ryosuke Awasa in 2018 to become the IBF Super Bantamweight champion. His last 3 fights, if I remember correctly, were all in Japan, and his last 3 fights all ended by way of stoppage. So Doheny's got a lot of momentum working in his favor. Doheny's an experienced fighter. Yeah, he's 37 years old right now. He's got 4 losses, but he's never been stopped before, and he's been in there with some pretty good fighters. He's been in some close fights where he got the short end of the stick, right? He's a patient fighter. He waits for the right opening to make his mark. He waits till the perfect time to be able to throw those shots. When he fought Jalathi Lalamido, who was undefeated young fighter at the time, he baited him with subtle feints until he got him right in the center of the ring, feinted with that right hand so he would drop his guard and came over the top with that left. When I saw that shot and how it connected, man, it looked a little bit of when Kiko Martinez, when he was upsetting young fighters. It was the same similar shot, same similar approach. So you could make a case that some of the movements that TJ Doheny does looks a little Kiko Martinez-esque. Both guys have to get in close to do their work. And when they're in close, they're going to let the hands go. And some overhand shots are going to be in their bag in order for those shots to connect as well, too. So TJ's got some good pop in his shots, man. Again, even at 37 years old, like he might not be as busy as he once been before, but he's a lot more calculated in how he's distributing his energy and his shot selection. We've covered Inoue long enough, and you've watched Inoue long enough to know what he's about and what he can do. I don't think personally Doheny has fought anyone quite like the level of Inoue. Inoue is a complete fighter. Doheny has fought some good boxers, right? Mick Conlon, a name that comes to mind, and a couple guys that can punch, not guys who have devastating power, but guys that can punch. And Inoue has a combination of it all. He's fast, he can punch, he's got good movement, defensively sound, offensively, the bag is deep. Like, he does a lot of really good things. No fighter is perfect, but he does everything exceptionally well. He's a complete fighter. But in his last fight, he was tested again, right? And I wanted to see him tested, as we all should. Our favorite fighters, the fighters that we like to see, we should all want them to be tested so we can uncover to see if they truly are great. Inoue has been dominant in every facet of his career so far, to the point in every division that he has moved up. We've seen him tested against Nonito Donaire the first time, but in the rematch, he came back and learned from the mistakes of the past and made the adjustments in the present, and he closed out the show very, very quickly. Inoue's last fight was against Luis Neri, a guy who can punch. Yeah, he's got some defensive flaws, but he's got power in his shots. Inoue got caught a little sloppy inside. Defense wasn't as sound as it usually does, overcommitted on a shot, and Luis Neri caught him with that left hand from in close, and Inoue, for the first time in his career, was on the canvas. the excitement of the fight was in full swing. Again, this was an early morning fight. Some of us aren't morning people. I'm a morning person, but you might not be a morning person. And so when we're watching the fight, we might be half asleep. But when Inoue hit the canvas, oh yeah, we was awake because we had a fight. So the question for Inoue at that point was, what now? Right? How does a fighter rise to the occasion when they have been dropped? Inoue is a champion through and through, and I felt like he proved that. He got dropped and got up more technically sound. He got locked in, a lot more focused. Defense became more of a priority. It's like his instincts elevated just that much more. And he dropped Nuri in that second round to even up the fight. It seemed like Inoue found Nuri's timing and kind of figured out the shots that Nuri likes and what was coming back his way. And Inoue started to take full advantage of that, because when he got knocked down and came back, he found his groove. He used his IQ and his experience to settle into the fight. And he gained complete control of the fight as the fight went on. He started going to the body, using his footwork to sit on his punches, letting combinations go slipping and weaving shots and having something to return fire. It got to a point to me where I felt like Nuri looked annoyed that he couldn't catch Inoue as well as he was doing in that first round. And he started to fade a little bit, get a little bit more tired. And Inoue just continued to break him down round to round. And he was able to close out the show in the 6th round. But he was tested. I was impressed with Inoue's performance, not necessarily about him winning the fight and him stopping Nuri, but how he responded to being dropped and the confidence he gained each round, and how you get dropped and then get back up. And the fight became a lopsided fight after that first round. I was impressed by that. Doheny's last performance was against Barrios, who, it was a bit of a sloppy fight, man, a bit of a sloppy fight at times, but you can see Doheny's confident. He's a confident fighter. He's using his strength to his advantage, being physical, using his experience to wear down his opponents, fighting in spurts, in good spots. Doheny's got that style and that pressure, man, where I said he's got to get in close. He's a very good inside fighter. And when you are inside against TJ Doheny, you got to be careful of what's coming back at you, man. You might get caught with some of those overhand lefts or those overhand rights. So you got to be careful with how much you're putting forth from in close. You got to be wary of what's coming back at you. A lot of fighters get caught with those overhand shots when they're overcommitting from in close. Doheny's got good pop in his shots, and he knows how to work the body, and he stopped Barrios in 4 rounds. So I thought he fought well, despite some of the rounds a little bit too much holding for me in the early parts. But at the same time, with all that being said, clearly Doheny still got some solid fights left in him, even at 37 years old. But this is going to be a much different fight for him, man, than anyone that he's fought before, and a speed level that's different than he's fought before. Mick Conlan, good boxer, good speed, but in a way is a little bit different in some ways. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/the breakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. You know, I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos and videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. Personally, you might not feel this way, but this is how I feel. I can probably name 7 or 8 guys that Inoue has fought that would beat TJ Doheny right now. That's not to say Doheny can't win this fight. Anything can happen in boxing, and we should never rule any person out because we know one punch can change the whole trajectory of the fight. There's way more ways of how Inoue can win this fight than Doheny can win this fight. But Doheny has not lost in Japan before, so he's going to come in feeling extremely confident, and he should not be counted out. But I like Naoya Inoue to win this fight by mid to late stoppage. I think this fight is going to go some rounds. I don't think it's going to be too early of a stoppage. I'm going to give Doheny the benefit of the doubt as well, too, because he's a durable fighter, never been stopped before. But I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with the speed of Inoue and the combinations mixed with that power for 12 rounds. I think past a certain point, it's going to be a problem, and it's going to be a lot to handle. And I think Inoue's body work is going to be on full display in this fight, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning? Let me know in the comment section below. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll definitely see you next time.